going to be teching to tier 3. You can see that DD's already, 2/3 the way to tier 3, and he's constructed 2 Ancients of Lore, and is producing, a few Dryads, and actually, to tell you the truth, he's kind of holding back on his production because his 2 Ancients of Lore kind of drained his resources, and he wants to still have some to get a few Druids of the Claw. You can see in this middle battle that Todd is way ahead of DD as far as units go. The Demon Hunter is getting focused down, using that staff preservation very well to heal the Demon Hunter. But it's very basic right now, just standard micro. Todd is ever pressingly or ever pushing into DD's base. And look at it, you have the timing of this push is just disgustingly good. Every time I watch this replay, I am astounded by the amazing timing exhibited by Todd. First, you can see that he creeps that last camp so that his Archmage would get tier 3, or tier 3, yeah, because heroes can definitely tech. He leveled up to level 3, and in doing so, he got the level 2 Water Elemental, dealing much more damage. As opposed to like 20 damage, he's now dealing like 35 damage. It pays off greatly. And he has 3 riflemen, sorceresses, a sorceress for slow, and a spellbreaker as well as footmen. His army is just very well rounded and very powerful at focusing down units. Now, another great thing about his timing was that he attacked in the morning, midday almost. And because he did this, it's going to be quite some time before nightfall, and quite some time before DD's moon wells regenerate. You can see that DD has already drained all the moon juice from all of his moon wells, and so he's not going to have any inherent healing besides the rejuvenation from bears. To heal his hero, you can see the Demon Hunter is only at half health, and these Dryads are very low. Finally, the bears, the Druids of the Claw, have gotten master training and can transform into their bear form. Now they become actual assets in the battle, but the damage has already been done. Todd's already destroyed a Moonwell or 2. He's destroyed Dryads, he's destroyed archers, and he just got the hero kill. I want you guys to notice that Todd erected 1 tower. He built 1 tower and upgraded it to an arcane tower. By doing so, he was able to drain a bit of the Naga's mana, but I'd say even more importantly, he drew focus fire from his army. The Demon Hunter, before it died, and the Naga both were focused on destroying that tower, and that means that the Demon Hunter, the high damage per second Demon Hunter, wasn't actually attacking Todd's army. And so probably the best source of damage wasn't even focused on Todd's army. It's really no contest on who's going to win that little battle. A bear was very lucky, very timely, and reached the tavern in time to get the Demon Hunter. But you can see the game's almost over, and it's obvious who's came through, or who pulled through with this match. So, yeah, there's like 5 more seconds. I think the Demon Hunter is going to die trying to kill this Naga, Todd's Naga, and that's going to signal to DD that the game is in fact over. And I guess I'll just sum up this game with a few final points. A little recap for you. It is important when you're facing Night Elf to at least make it difficult for them to get their final army. And if you don't make it difficult for them to get their final army, then you need to work very hard to make your final army better than theirs. And what I mean by that is, let's say you're not a big harasser, let's say you're not a big pusher. You'd prefer to expand, go 80 of 80, mass, griffins, mass mortars, whatever. Well, then you need to work on fortifying expansions and getting fast expos and protecting your expansions and that sort of thing. If you're a pusher, then you need to learn the timing, learn when and where the Night Elf is going to be creeping and attacking, and just become familiar with the Night Elf army's placement and strategies. Now, I recommend you guys, if you really want to learn how to do a good Night Elf human matchup, to actually watch Night Elf commentators commentate on Night Elf human games. And whatever they suggest the Night Elf do to counter the human, you actually counter their counter. Remind, I think Remind's audio is going to come out right before this audio commentary, and I believe he did another Night Elf human game. And so it's great to watch both of our commentaries and see the different advice that we give our respective races. And I've always been very interested in that sort of cross-race theory crafting. I'd say the big thing in this game that I wanted to show you guys is that timing. I think most of you guys are good players, are decent players, and you can recognize that Todd is just one of the best human players ever, and so his timing is the best, or one of the best human players' timings around, and it needs to be because he plays the best Night Elf players in the world. I'd say as a rule of thumb, don't attack a Night Elf base at night unless you are confident you have a significant advantage. Secondly, Druids of the Claw in Adept form or in Caster form are very, very weak. They have 505 hit points and like 1 armor. It's ridiculous how fast sorceresses and rifles can focus down a Druid of the Claw. And so, third and final point, I want you guys to kind of learn when to attack the Night Elf base as far as 10 minutes in the game, 15 minutes in the game, and try to catch the Night Elf players halfway between their Tier 2, Tier 3 tech. That's when they're going to start massing up those Druids of the Claw in preparation for their master training, and that's when they'll want to turtle inside of their base. But of course, we all know that Night Elf players don't, turtle like other races. They rely on their trees to provide defense, and with our ranged army, we can destroy the trees very, very quickly. Very rarely do the Night Elf players build Ancient Protectors, which is probably going to be the only counter to this Tier 2 push. Building Ancient Protectors will probably hurt them more than help them, because it costs more resources, and they're very pressed to field a powerful army at Tier 3, while you have a much larger army staying at Tier 2. So, I guess if you guys could get this next replay, paused at the 1 minute mark. We're going to get started very, very shortly. While it just seems like it's been a minute since I last talked to you, this is taking place 3 days later. Oddly enough, it was really late when I finished the first half, so I decided to go to bed and finish it in the morning, and I woke up with quite the disease, quite the sickness. And, of course, my voice was just really fucked up. And, as you all know, sick people do not make sexy audio commentaries. So, yeah, it's been a while. I'm really itching to get this audio done. But, of course, I'm going to do a quality job as well. So, to set the stage for you guys, it is 4K Todd versus Grubby, or Todd 4K versus 4K Grubby on Twisted Meadows. Now, this did take place like in a tournament or something. I know you guys probably know better than I what tournament it was. But these two played against each other, and whether it was just because they didn't care, or whether they had enough points, or whether they didn't have enough points, they basically just played dual random against each other every game. And so it made for some very, very interesting competitions, especially since you got quite a few mirrors, you got some interesting matchups. So I think you got to see them play Night Elf Mirror or something like that, as well as Human Mirror. So, I mean, it was very interesting to watch. And I recommend that you guys, find and download the remaining games. But here we have them randoming Human. Now, right off the bat, you have a good idea who's going to win this match. because Todd is a human player.